Hello and welcome to This Week in Agriculture, a presentation of the Communications Unit, Ministry of Agriculture. I'm your producer and host, Christopher Holder. On this week's presentation, we bring you highlights of Agriculture Minister's trip to Region 8, where he continued the flood relief distributions to farmers there who were affected by flood waters earlier this year. He also commissioned the new Nari substation out there at Paramakatoy, and we will bring you clips of his remarks at that commissioning ceremony, and of course some other activities that he was engaged in over this past week. This Week in Agriculture is produced for television by Matrix Video Productions and Advertising based in East Berbice. We will be back after these messages. Government has committed to assisting coconut farmers across the country in their efforts at expanding their cultivations. This help will come through the clearing of vegetation and digging of internal drainage and irrigation channels. Farmers can also expect help in the form of technical support through NARI and the Hope Estate. Further, coconut seedling nurseries have been established in various regions as part of a decentralization program for nurseries. Coconut seedlings are now available. These are the 5, 3, and 18-month varieties. Farmers are reminded that the recommended number of trees per acre is 50. Persons interested in purchasing seedlings may make contact with Hope Estate on telephone number 663-2709. Once the booking is made, seedlings can be picked up from a nursery nearest you. A message from the management of Hope Estate, Ministry of Agriculture. African swine fever is a highly contagious disease of domestic and wild pigs that is characterized by high fever, bleeding, and death within 2 to 10 days. African swine fever has been recorded in some countries of Africa, Asia, and Europe, and recently in the Dominican Republic in the Americas. Guyana is free of this devastating disease, but there is a risk for the disease introduction due to global movement of people, animals, and animal products. African swine fever is spread when pigs come into contact with contaminated pork products, feed, syringes, and infected materials, such as pigs and ticks. Pork products can carry the virus, even if they have been cooked or frozen. Humans can carry the virus on their clothing and footwear and may infect pigs that they come into contact with. Before traveling, know the disease status of the country you are visiting. Do not visit pig farms while in African swine fever affected countries. Travelers from affected countries are advised not to bring back food, pork, and pork products. Remember to properly clean, wash, and disinfect your clothing and footwear prior to returning or visiting Guyana. If you are arriving from an ASF infected country, kindly report same to the quarantine officer on arrival and do not go near pig farms for 7 days. For further information, contact the Guyana Livestock Development Authority on telephone number 220-6556 or 7, fax 220-6557, or email glda1910@gmail.com. The Ministry of Agriculture is warning members of the public that it is illegal to dump garbage of any kind near to or into drainage and irrigation waterways across the country. The NDIA, the agency tasked with the maintenance of drainage and irrigation in Guyana, has noted that there is an alarming increase in the incidence of garbage getting into DNI waterways and causing blockages in the first instance. But worse than that, the garbage that includes clothing, rotting carcasses, pieces of wood and metal gets past protective grills of the critical mobile and fixed pumps, resulting in damage to the pumps, which have to be taken out of service for repairs, placing communities at risk, especially during the rainy season. The Ministry of Agriculture notes that when this happens, millions have to be spent on repairs to the pumps and on clearing the canals of debris thrown there by irresponsible citizens. The ministry warns that rangers of the NDIA will be on the lookout for those engaging in this illegal practice. Persons caught will be made to face the full force of the law. A message from the NDIA, Ministry of Agriculture. This is what a responsible, health-conscious person should be wearing when using agrochemicals on the farm. Wearing the proper protective equipment guards users of pesticides and other harmful chemicals from the cumulative effects of consistent exposure over a period of time. In the short term, exposure can result in skin or eye irritation, rashes, burns, respiratory problems, etc. Long-term results of exposure to harmful chemicals include certain types of cancers, birth defects, etc. Ensure you wear the proper protective equipment when applying pesticides. A message from the Pesticides and Toxic Chemicals Control Board, Ministry of Agriculture. We begin this week's edition with a look at a key strategy of the government at work, that of incorporating agriculture in its various forms at schools across the country. The idea is to showcase to the young minds the wealth-generating potential of this vital pillar of the country's economy. To this end, the government has, through the Ministry of Agriculture, been supporting the agriculture departments in the various secondary schools around the country, providing technical and material support. The latest manifestation of this effort was the donation of planting materials and supplies as well as broiler chicks to the North Georgetown Secondary School this past week. The presentation was made in the compound of the Ministry of Agriculture on Regent Street, Georgetown. In making the presentation, Agriculture Minister Mustafa said that the donation was the fulfillment of a promise made in response to a request from the head of the Agriculture Science Department of the school, who requested the materials and supplies for students preparing for the Caribbean Secondary Education Certificate Examination, CSEC, for the years 2022 and 2023. The minister also announced a number of plans and initiatives that will be rolled out to schools across the country in the coming year.
And as a ministry, I am very happy to note that the schools are interested in developing the agriculture sector. As a matter of fact, early next year I will launch a program where we will do some value-added crops, things like broccoli, cauliflowers, carrots. You know, many times young people have the idea that agriculture is mostly a minimal job and agriculture is for the mature population. But I am happy that the students here from the agriculture department are very interested in terms of developing the agriculture department in this school, and hopefully that they can excel in the agriculture field and move on to expand the agriculture sector in our country. I want to inform them that the agriculture sector now is expanding. As a government, we are putting more resources in the agriculture sector. And today I will be donating to the school from the Ministry of Agriculture. We will be donating things like celery. We have a list here. We have 250 cabbage plant, 256 celery plant, 128 lettuce plant, 128 tomato plants. And I've asked the NARI CEO to make available to y'all broccoli and cauliflower and also carrots. And we'll donate a shade house to this school. I hope that this school can be a model for other schools to follow in and around Georgetown and in other parts of the country. Later on, we'll make a visit to the school, and I want to assure you that I will have our extension officer visit the school to give you all some guidelines and help you all to develop a proper farm in the school. As I said, that other schools also can come to your school to do practicals and things like that. So I'm happy this morning to make this donation, this small donation, but let us hope that this donation will be expanded across the country, where other schools will follow suit and will move it different parts of the country. As a matter of fact, right now Guyana is leading the agriculture agenda in the Caribbean. Our president is the lead spokesperson on agriculture in CARICOM, and Guyana is chairing the ministerial task force in agriculture. So we have a very important role to play. And we can tap into the Caribbean market if we develop our agriculture sector. And the government will be putting more investment in this sector. Although we are now an island gas producing country, agriculture is one of our main activities, and we will continue to develop this important sector. So on behalf of the Ministry of Agriculture, I want to wish you all well. I hope that these small donations that we are making these small donations that we are making to the school agriculture department will help you all to develop that department. As I said, I want young people, and we'll launch the program next year to involve in these value-added crops. And we'll be launching it right across the country, where we'll build shade house and we'll help young people to get into this form of production. There are a lot of hotels coming on stream. There are a lot of other facilities coming on stream in Guyana, where we can be the supplier of those things to these hotel chains and things like that. Also, we'll be making 50 broilers chicken available to the school today too. So in an all-round donation we are making both to the crop and livestock sector to this school here. So I want to wish you well. I hope that this small donation will take you a far way in helping you to develop your agriculture department and be a model for other schools and other institutions to follow.
Offering thanks to Minister Mustafa and the Ministry of Agriculture for the timely donation was North Georgetown Secondary School student Miss Stacy Roberts.
Everyone, good morning. My name is Stacy Roberts. On behalf of North Georgetown Secondary School, I would like to thank Mr. Mustafa and our Ministry of Agriculture for the donation. We appreciate it very much.
Good.
Thank you.
Another critical highlight of Minister Mustafa's week of engagement was his trip to Paramakatoy in Region 8 for the start of the flood relief distribution exercise in that region. Approximately $29 million in flood relief grants were distributed to more than 334 farmers from the various villages who were affected by the extended May-June rains this year. During his presentation to the various recipients of the relief grants, most of whom were women, the Agriculture Minister spoke of the importance of agriculture to nation building and the growing role of Guyana in leading the agriculture agenda for the Caribbean.
Today is a very important day for you because we are bringing to you cash. And this is not a compensation. This is not a compensation that we bring into you here this morning. We bring in the relief that the President would have promised a few months ago. Why we are doing this? We are doing this because we want you to get back to your normal life as quickly as possible. Whilst I am here today, or this part, my colleagues are in other parts of the region. And some other members of this team will be going out to different areas in the next 3 days to ensure that other people and other residents in Region 8 receive their relief. And we are bringing relief to the entire country, in the entire farming community and people who would have lost in the flood. From Region 1 to Region 10. We have completed a number of regions already. We are here in Region 8 today. We'll continue this program until we conclude Region 8 in the next 3 days. Then we have to go to Region 7 to continue the program. A number of regions have already been completed. But this shows that we as a government, we want to invest in the people of our country. And I can say over the last year, over the last 13 months, since we have assumed government in August of last year, we have seen a number of benefits that the government have rolled out to the population of our country. We are using the funds of our country, we are using the revenue of our country to invest on the people of our country. Leaving out the other programs, like the health sector, the educational sector, there are lots of investment in those sectors. And I want to tell you here in the agriculture sector, although we are now an oil and gas producing country, we are investing heavily in the agriculture sector because today Guyana is playing the leading role in agriculture in CARICOM. And in this flood relief package that we are about to start in your community here today, when we leave Region 8, $173 million will remain in the region. When we leave this community here today, $29 million will be distributed in this community when we leave here today. So why we are doing this? When you get this money, not you alone benefit, the entire village, the entire community, the entire region benefit because you use the money to procure service. Other services you want. For example, you use the money to go to the shop to buy things. You use the money for other needs. And when you use those money, those people benefit too. And you have the circulation in the community. You have the spin-off effect where the entire community benefit. So I want to tell you here that this is a government commitment to fulfill. It promises and some of the promise that the president would have made when we had the flood. And over the next 4 years, we will continue to invest in the welfare of the people of our country. Our country is now an emerging oil and gas producing country. We'll have more revenue coming on stream. We'll use those revenue to develop the other sectors in the country, especially the agriculture sector. When we took over government last year, our country has ceded its position in agriculture to St. Vincent. Today, we are once again the leader in agriculture in CARICOM. We are driving the agri-food system in CARICOM, Guyana. Guyana is a leading country to drive that system. And if we are doing it, you are the farmers. We are looking now at trade barriers that are affecting our produce in going to Caribbean markets. And when we remove those barriers, we will need farmers' produce to ensure that they export to the Caribbean market. That is why we are building these facilities in different parts of the country so that we can enhance the value of your produce. We can make it more value added. You can have more money. Instead of selling your produce for a cheaper price and doing it on a subsistence basis, we will help you to add value to your produce where you'll have more money and you'll have more income.
Of the community were high in their praise of government for the grants.
See, because I'm glad that I'm receiving, but I will get my little food with this money and get for my family.
There's some of the things you plan.
I will plant some cassava more. After all my cassava get rotten when plenty rain falling and it get flood. So it rotten.
So how do you feel about the government
I'm
giving back the money?
I'm glad that the government will give me money so I could get what little thing what I will get.
My name is Dawn Williams. I'm from Paramakatoy, and I'm happy to get the money from the agricultural members.
I'm really happy and thankful for this relief and for the government is remembering us.
My name is Aklima Charlie. I'm very thankful for the grant that I get today, and thank you so much.
Well, in Paramakatoy, Minister Mustafa also commissioned a $38 million Nari substation there and an ATV to better service the needs of the communities in that community. In brief remarks, the Agriculture Minister highlighted his ministry's goal of ensuring that farmers throughout the country are provided with the relevant technical support to help them grow their farms, be it crops or livestock.
This building here this morning, I am very satisfied that this is the kind of investment that the PPP civic government is making. We are not only making an investment in urban areas and around on the coast, but we are way up in the hinterland here in Paramakatoy in Region 8. And this is $38 million project that we have built here to serve the community in this area. This here will serve the community in a different way because, you know, NARI is our research and extension institute. Whilst we are doing extension services on the coast and other parts of the country, we are moving those services to the hinterland area. And this shows government's commitment to develop our agriculture sector in the country. You know, agriculture is taking a leading role now today, although we are an oil and gas producing country. And we are putting a lot of investment in agriculture. As I said, this building, is the cost of this building to build it and furnish it and things like that will cost $38 million. We have also handed over a new brand ATV for the officers in these areas to work and service the community. Here, this building, this office here, will work in tandem with the IST Institute, the food factory. We are looking at the different variety of tomatoes where we can build, produce sauce and other things. This is a kind of value added product that we are talking about. And we are not doing it in Georgetown. We are not doing it in Berbice or Essequibo alone. We are doing it in every corner of our country. And this is the way that we intend to govern. This is the way the PPP civic government intends to develop our country. I am very happy that we are here this morning to commission this spanking new building. This will serve the community well. And I know for a fact I've asked the CEO of NARI to ensure that he paid regular visit here with the officers from Georgetown so that we can support the officers in Region 8 so that we can work in tandem to develop the agriculture sector in Region 8.
The new Nari substation also boasts a shade house that will provide a wide variety of seedlings to farmers of Region 8. Speaking on behalf of the village council, this representative said the village is encouraged by the works and words of the agriculture minister and his ministry on behalf of the government in moving agriculture development in the region.
On behalf of Parmakatoy Village Council, I would like to say thank you very much to the government of Guyana and to the Minister of Agriculture for making it possible for us to have our NARI facility. I can assure everyone that is looking at this video presently to know and understand that we're going to make the best use of this facility. We're very thankful that we were remembered with this facility. We will do a lot within this region here, within the North Pacaraimans, sub-region 1 of 8. We're going to do so much with the use of this facility. It's going to do so many things. It's going to be opening more doors for us. It's going to be making things a lot better so that our agricultural officers will work in a more comfortable way to enhance the agricultural sector in this area of Region 8. Thank you so much for all the encouragement that the minister would have just given to us, encouraging us and telling us that he is going to further work to make sure that the tomato project continues and better be given to make that project go on. And we're looking forward to that because our region, our village on the whole, has a good soil and it has a great agricultural potential. But it's just that we need to be given that opportunity to widen and invest in the agricultural sector of this region. We can do so many things, like we can do dry products, we can do dry foods and ship them out to enhance our economical status in our region here. Thank you so much. And as I said, this is on behalf of all the villagers, all the villages in this region, because not only the Parmakatoy residents would gain and benefit from this project, as well as the other agricultural projects, but other villages that come here to get like seeds and other advice from our agricultural officers. I would like to also compliment our agricultural officers like Ms. Selfa and other co-workers of Selfa who have been working very hard in our region here. And I do hope that in the future, and I must say, things will get better for us, and as we can see, it is happening. Thank you for the ATV, because our agricultural officers have to go walking far, and Marlon Williams is one of them that I have seen working very dedicatedly, traversing in the mountains, and this bike will be of great benefit and help to him. So once again, on behalf of the Parmakatoy Village Council, thank you very much.
For the seedling shade house and the tomato drying facility there. African swine fever is a highly contagious disease of domestic and wild pigs that is characterized by high fever, bleeding, and death within 2 to 10 days. African swine fever has been recorded in some countries of Africa, Asia, and Europe, and recently in the Dominican Republic in the Americas. Guyana is free of this devastating disease, but there is a risk for the disease introduction due to global movement of people, animals, and animal products. African swine fever is spread when pigs come into contact with contaminated pork products, feed, syringes, and infected materials, such as pigs and ticks. Pork products can carry the virus, even if they have been cooked or frozen. Humans can carry the virus on their clothing and footwear and may infect pigs that they come into contact with. Before traveling, know the disease status of the country you are visiting. Do not visit pig farms while in African swine fever affected countries. Travelers from affected countries are advised not to bring back food, pork, and pork products. Remember to properly clean, wash, and disinfect your clothing and footwear prior to returning or visiting Guyana. If you are arriving from an ASF-infected country, kindly report same to the quarantine officer on arrival and do not go near pig farms for 7 days. For further information, contact the Guyana Livestock Development Authority on telephone number 220-6556 or 7, fax 220-6557, or email glda1910@gmail.com. The Ministry of Agriculture is warning members of the public that it is illegal to dump garbage of any kind near to or into drainage and irrigation waterways across the country. The NDIA, the agency tasked with the maintenance of drainage and irrigation in Guyana, has noted that there is an alarming increase in the incidence of garbage getting into DNI waterways and causing blockages in the first instance. But worse than that, the garbage that includes clothing, rotting carcasses, pieces of wood and metal gets past protective grills of the critical mobile and fixed pumps, resulting in damage to the pumps, which have to be taken out of service for repairs, placing communities at risk, especially during the rainy season. The Ministry of Agriculture notes that when this happens, millions have to be spent on repairs to the pumps and on clearing the canals of debris thrown there by irresponsible citizens. The ministry warns that rangers of the NDIA will be on the lookout for those engaging in this illegal practice. Persons caught will be made to face the full force of the law. A message from the NDIA Ministry of Agriculture. Government has committed to assisting coconut farmers across the country in their efforts at expanding their cultivations. This help will come through the clearing of vegetation and digging of internal drainage and irrigation channels. Farmers can also expect help in the form of technical support through NARI and the Hope Estate. Further, coconut seedling nurseries have been established in various regions as part of a decentralization program for nurseries. Coconut seedlings are now available. These are the 5, 3, and 18-month varieties. Farmers are reminded that the recommended number of trees per acre is 50. Persons interested in purchasing seedlings may make contact with Hope Estate on telephone number 663-2709. Once the booking is made, seedlings can be picked up from a nursery nearest you. A message from the management of Hope Estate, Ministry of Agriculture. Farmers and the members of the public in general are being advised that tampering with drainage and irrigation structures in any way is prohibited under the Drainage and Irrigation Act. So too are practices that result in damage to access dams, such as using an inadequate length of tube to irrigate farmlands, resulting in erosion of the earthen dams. Also contrary to the Drainage and Irrigation Act is the practice of erecting structures or planting on government reserves. This will not be condoned. These reserves are to be clear at all times to provide access for the excavation of the channels. Livestock farmers should also be aware that they are liable for any damages caused by their cattle or swine to dams or reserves alongside DNI channels, as is the case when the animals cross these channels. Individuals wishing to erect bridges across DNI structures should first contact the NDIA before doing so. Those found guilty under the Act are liable to fines and imprisonment for up to 3 months. A message from the National Drainage and Irrigation Authority, Ministry of Agriculture. Well, that's all the time we have on this week's edition of This Week in Agriculture, a presentation of the Communications Unit, Ministry of Agriculture. I'm your producer and host, Christopher Holder. Until next time then, be good to yourselves and to each other.